Hi, everybody. I hope your week has been off to a good start. I just wanted to take a couple of minutes here and mention something regarding what I shared this past Sunday. Now, if you're a regular part of New Life and you haven't heard that, I ask you please to go back and listen to the sermon that I preached this past Sunday. I really feel I always feel this way, but to an unusual degree, I feel it's very important for us as a church family to sort of be on the same page right now and be tracking with one another as we all seek to track with the Holy Spirit about what He's saying to us in this season. Someone who is a faithful part of the prayer ministry at New Life sent me something following that sermon, and I want to just reference it. In this email, they said that they really felt strongly that many people were moved to respond seriously to the call that went out on Sunday, and to really step into more maturity in their faith and step more into the exercise of their God-given call and purpose at this time in the life of, in time and in the life of this nation, and particularly of our region. But at that same moment, they said they really felt that the enemy was working in real time to try to convince people that actually this call isn't for you specifically. It's a good call, important call, but it's really for other people. And that that God showed them that the default setting for so many believers is that there will be somebody listening to this call who will step up, and they'll do this. They'll pay this price. They'll make these sacrifices to really change, to affect the change in this part of the world that God is trying to do. But God's not asking it of me personally. It's out there, and somebody in this church family is going to step up to it. And even to the extent that the Holy Spirit said to them as they shared this with me, that there are people thinking, well, look at the very story that Pastor Jim is referencing, the story of Elijah. One man was used to change the culture of that time. And it can be that way now. If one person grabs hold of this, there'll be this one person that can do that. And that, of course, is not the case. For starters, Elijah was one voice in a culture that was way smaller than ours. One voice mattered more in that culture because there were not nearly as many people. He wasn't dealing with a nation of 350 million people or so. Plus, a little later on in that story, we didn't get to this part of it yet, Elijah thinks he's the only one. And God says, bud. He says, actually, I've got 7,000 people who have never one time bowed their knee to the false god Baal. They have remained faithful in all of this. It was never just about one man. He happened to be the one that got the press, but it was always about a body of faithful, God-fearing people who were responding to God's call. And it still is about that right now. And so I want to urge you to take seriously this call that God has given to us. We can make a massive difference in the culture of this region. I know we can. I know it's what God's calling us to. But He is going to need all of us to respond to this. And He's going to need us to be very diligent about shaking off this idea that, well, somebody else will do it. No, God's calling us to this, and He's offering us a part to play in the fulfillment of His purposes for this time and this season in this place. He's offering us a way to be an actual avenue by which His kingdom comes and His will gets done on earth here in the Danville region as it is in heaven. He's offering that to us, and I want us to say a faithful yes to that. So be encouraged on that. And also, by the way, I hope to see you tonight. One of the best ways I know of to strengthen and encourage one another in these kinds of times where God is asking for these kinds of things from us is to come together. And so I look forward to seeing you this evening at Group Life. I hope 6 o'clock. If not, see you Sunday. Love you.